Thank you so much for joining me today on this special workshop. I can see there's a few of you, uh, coming up. So first of all, hi Sandra. So I want to make sure that everyone is hearing me well. It seems that you do, so that's a really good start. And I also wanted to know, I think it would be very helpful for the session if you could write where you guys are, if you are planning on especially moving to Spain and working to Spain, where are you logging in from? So it would be great to see kind of in the room what countries are we, do we have in the room, and based on that we can also give a specific example during the session. But again, Philadelphia, the US, Texas. So we have a few people. We've got Stephen from the US, Maria from the US. We've got Simone from London, Texas, US. So big blend of US. So okay, that I think that's really Illinois. Okay, so thank you guys. Boston, currently in Madrid, but living in Boston, USA. Okay, that's brilliant. And thank you guys for your time, because I know you have plenty of things to do on the Friday night. So we appreciate you. So I'll jump right in. There's more people who join later, but we'll get started. So I'll do just a quick introduction. So for some of you who are not familiar with me, I'm Leticia. You may have come across my blog at some point. It's called Coming to Spain. I started it in 2018. So it might resonate with some of you, but well, I'm currently based in Barcelona, was looking to move to Barcelona from London. The accent is because I'm French, but um, Jeanette, you can't hear. I can see. I think everyone else can hear. If someone else cannot hear, let me know, and maybe it's something with my mic. But essentially, yeah, everyone else can hear fine. Moving from Madrid. Okay, great. So I was based in London for 9 years, and I had to make the move to Barcelona. So back then I had a lot of questions on how to move to Spain, and well, it wasn't always finding the right information. So long story short, this is how I created the blog, and then the blog turned into something bigger than I expected, and a big part of it has been um, responding and providing resources around any type of immigration specific questions when it comes to moving to Spain, and especially for non-EU citizen. So that's what I love, that's what I'm passionate about, and that's what I'm hoping to continue to do. But in order to do that, because I am not an immigration lawyer, I've been kind of working and partnering with the best of the best across different industries to bring you the information that you need to be able to make that informed decision on whether you want to move to Spain, and if you do, like how can you do it. So today, quick the agenda. This is going to be a short workshop. The point of the workshop is for you to come out having the information that you need, and hopefully, if you wanted to take the next step, we can support you. We're going to look at an overview of all the different work visas that are available. But today we're going to zoom in on the digital nomad visa. We're going to look at the startup visa, and we're also going to discuss some common application mistakes, because I know this is a big pain for many of us, looking to apply, and it's very complicated with all the bureaucracy. And happy Friday from Bogota. Yes, happy Friday to everyone. So this is what we're going to do. So before we jump right in, I'm going to put a quick poll so we can see kind of how many. I just wanted to know, like, how many of you kind of with us today are looking to move to Spain next year. I think that would be a good idea to see. So to see what's the sense of urgency, and like the type of information we can provide. So feel free to fill out the poll, and then I'll let you know in a minute what the answers are. But we're not here for me. Here, like I mentioned, I work with many different experts, and Evgenia is an immigration expert that I've been working for the past year. I've been very happy. She's been supporting many of the clients that I've been working with, especially when it comes to visa application, and she's top notch and an expert in the field. So today she's going to talk you through all those different work visa, and hopefully, if you have at any given point, if you have any questions, please just put your question in the chat, and then the goal is to answer all of them. So please do. And what I'm seeing is that right now, 73% of you are looking to move to Spain. So many of you are looking to move to Spain next year. So hopefully we can make it happen. Okay, so now, without any further ado, I'm going to be sharing Evgenia's slides, who's going to talk you through the right visa that you need to secure.
Hello, everyone. It's nice to meet you, everyone, on Friday evening. Yeah, I'm Evgenia. I'm also immigrant, so just I'm really digital nomad, and I work a lot during the past years, working in different spheres like digital nomad. And I was wondering, can I found a place where I can go and receive residence permit? And just luckily, I was found in Spain, so I moved to Spain like a digital nomad. So I have a residency permit now, and just a few years ago, I started to help people to move to Spain from different countries around the world to help them to collect the documents in a proper way. Yeah. And today I just want to tell you a little bit about these types of visas as well, but mention in other ones. As you know, there are several type of visa in Spain which allows you to work. So one is the most popular now, which is high qualified professional visa, but it means that you're hired by a company, Spanish company, and you need to be fine with some requirements. And usually the lawyers of the company lead all the process because they know everything and that they hire the people. Yeah. So also you can find another options like work visa employment when you also hire the company, but not with such big requirements like a high qualified one. Or you also can open the autonomo to be freelancer in Spain. But these types of visa have a lot of restrictions because you need to live in Spain and you have a legal residence permit already, at least for 1 year. So it's not for everyone. And also we can find the information about intercompany transfer to Spain when the company have branches in different parts of the world. And I suppose you hear a lot about the golden visa or investor visa, which also allow you to work. But unfortunately, it needs a lot of money to invest. And also the immigration law is changing quite quickly, drastically in Spain, and they're going to close this program very soon. So we're not going to talk a lot about these types of visa because mostly of them just you need to apply from consulate. Yeah, but I want to today to talk a lot about the startup and digital nomad programs because they're a new one, and of course the world is changed also drastically during the last years, and it is nice that the Spanish just try to be like in one like with the modern world and just to be innovative and create new programs for people, for entrepreneurs especially, who want to come to Spain, to live in Spain and maybe develop Spain. So yeah, let's go to these new ones. um, yeah. So when we're talking about the digital nomad and startup visa, which is nice, that it is very predictable in time and you have an option to apply from inside of the country. It is a really, really good option, and you could initially apply for up to 3 years residence permit. So if you know, if we're talking about the digital nomad programs, there are two ways to apply. Usually you apply for a lot of options for visa through the consulate of your country of citizenship or residence. You can do this as well with the digital nomad, and you can receive a 1 year visa, like a stick in your passport. Or you have an option to skip this step with the consulate and come to Spain like a tourist and apply during your legal stay. You can apply from inside of Spain directly and receive up to 3 years residence permit at once. And it is, I suppose it's quite a good option to go. So, but of course there are some requirements. As we know, the digital, like remote work, became so popular, especially during the COVID time. So yeah, a lot of countries try to attract people who can work remotely to come to their country, and Spain is not exception. And I suppose it's one of the best option for digital nomads to come to Spain. But you have a minimum income requirement if we're talking about this type of visa, and it is around 2,700 euros per month. It's don't require a fixed amount. It can be fluent from 1 month to another month, but in average, you need to prove that you have enough income by the contract. Yeah, and if you are talking about the family members, their requirements will increase for some amount of money. So the next one, you need to prove that you have this income. So you need to show the contract. The contract must be at least 3 months old before application. It doesn't need that you have a 1 year long contract. It is enough that 3 months. Yeah, so then you need to provide the authorization letter to work from Spain from your client or employee. Then you show invoices for self-employed or pay slips for employees, and then bank statements. So you need to prove that you have a contract and you receive money from your client or employee. Then what you need to prove also, you need, as I mentioned, you need to work at least for 3 months for the foreign company. It must be foreign company. It can be company from Spain, but then it's no restriction for any other country. So it can be European company or it can be any company from non-European countries as well. So there is no discrimination about it, but just non-Spanish company. And also you need to prove that the company you work with or for exists more than 1 year. So they want to have like a contract with stable company which already exists quite a long time and just not a startup or something just is fake or just will disappear in a short time. And also you need to prove that you have a professional background. It can be a degree, diploma, relevant one in the same sphere, or you can also show that at least you have at least 3 years of relevant experience in your field. So it can be reference letters or some employment record, so different times, but you need to prove that you have this experience. Yes, we understand that the people can receive education many years ago, and then the world is so changed so quickly, so we change them the job. So it's not a problem. You can prove with experience, yeah. But we know how to do this. It's not very, very difficult one. Okay, it's the main requirements. So, and if you're fine with all these requirements, for example, and if you collect the documents in a proper way, the chance that you will be approved for this type of visa is really nearly 100%. So, but you need to provide these documents in a proper way. So, and if we're talking about the requirements, it's also good to mention about the benefits or advantages of this visa. Of course, it's a legal residence, and it's up to 3 years. You will have a plastic residence card if we're talking about application from Spain. And if you even come with visa from which you receive from the consulate, you can modify it just immediately after coming to Spain for the residence permit as well. But it's going to be another application. So first you can stay legally in Spain, you can work, you will have a permit to work in Spain, but you cannot work for Spanish companies. And you can travel around Europe and use this residence permit as a travel document. It's also nice to mention that it's a very simple procedure to apply your family members, that they can come immediately with you and apply just at the same time with you. And you only need to prove that you have relationships with them, and just for all adult ones, non-criminal record checks. It's not a lot of documents for them. And if you approved and you have all the documents for family members, they will be approved as well. But as I mentioned before, your requirements for income will increase with family members. Yeah, and as I mentioned before as well, its option is applied from Spain directly. So if you even come to Spain and you don't need a visa sometimes, and you already spend 1 month and you have 2 months more, sometimes you can decide, oh, I love to stay here in Spain, and yeah, I want to apply. Yeah, and you have a chance to collect all the documents during this period of time and then submit these documents and get approval. And one of the best benefits as well, it's a fast processing time. So the officials have to give you a decision during the 20 working days. So it's really, really fast. And one more tip, if they not give you a decision during this period of time, so they must give you a positive decision by administrative silence. It is also like very nice benefit. So if they're silent, if they are not approve, that not consider your documents, they're not in time, they must give you a positive decision. Yeah, so it's shortly about this program, like for nomad workers, for remote workers.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We're going to talk about the other ones, but I can see we have a few questions. So I just wanted to tell you all guys that we are going to be answering all the questions at the end. So if you see me looking at different screens, it's because I'm putting all the questions on the separate document, so we can ask all the questions to Evgenia. So I can see all your questions there. So, but we wanted to kind of know if right now you believe that anyone in the room believe that you're meeting the requirement from what Evgenia has shared, and hopefully some of the tips that she's sharing will also be giving you more clarity. So I can see that a few of you do, but hopefully when we answer the questions at the end, and this would provide more clarity. So I hope that until now everyone is following. I see that there's questions that are not always work specific, but we can also see which ones we can answer. But yes, and the presentation will be available after the webinar. I will be sending it. All of you have got your email addresses, and I'll send it to you just to clarify. So we're going to go to the next visa that's available. So Evgenia is going to go through this and keep asking questions. And like I said, I'll make sure that we cover them at the end.
Okay, great. Next, move to the next one. It's going to be startup visa, so for entrepreneurs. It's under the same law, so they still have the same benefits like a digital nomad that you can apply directly from Spain and receive up to 3 years residence permit, and you can apply with the family members just in one time. And some consulates in some countries have an opportunity to just give you an opportunity to apply from the consulate, but mostly you need to apply from Spain because there are two steps of application in this process. When we're talking about digital nomads, you only need to go through one application. But with a startup, there are two different ways, and you need to submit your startup plan separately, and then you need to submit yourself just separately with the general documents. So mostly for most countries, you need to come to Spain as tourists and apply from inside of Spain for this type. So, and it's not a lot of requirements in terms of general documents, but you need to prove that you have enough savings, and it depends on how many family members you want to move to Spain. So at least you need to have around 32,000 euros for the main applicant, or we call this founder. It's one of the creators of the business in Spain. And then for the first family member, you will need to prove that you have around 12,000 euros, and then per each child or per next family members, because you're not only child, you can sometimes bring your older parents if you can prove that they depend on you financial. So it will be around 4,000 euro per next family member. And it is nice to know that you don't need to have already business. Sometimes it's just enough to have an idea and express and describe your idea and just prove that it is very interesting, and you cannot be approved with that. Also, you need to show that you have some relevant work experience. So just, or maybe you have a degree or even some experience in the same field is also nice to show, because then the officials see the document. They need to know that you will be great, like a founder with this business. Yeah, and of course you can come to Spain and stay legally in Spain at the moment of application. It can be valid tourist visa. It can be even the last day of your legal stay in Spain, and you can apply immediately for this startup visa. And also you can be the holder of other type of residence permit at that moment. You can also have like a digital nomad, but then you decided to modify to another type, or even a student residence permit. So you can, if you are legal in Spain, then you can apply for this type of residence. So it's about this. So if we're talking about the business plan, it's not a simple business plan. Yeah, so it must be not only like viable, but it also need to be fine with some criteria. So the project must be economic viable, and it need to be very interesting for Spanish economy. So of course they want to attract the businesses who will develop the economy and just to make the Spain better and better. So to submit the comprehensive business plan is mandatory, and the official is going to consider very strictly business plan. You need to be in line with all the requirements, but you don't need to worry if you have an idea, or maybe if you have already current business and it's not so innovative, you can come to me and we or my colleagues, and we can just to see this business plan and just attract the business analysts, and they can help you just make it innovative or even just to improve something in this. So how to understand that your idea is innovative or beneficial? So what they want, officials want from your business plan. They want that you use the modern technologies or modern business models in your business plan. So it is nice to involve artificial intelligence in the process or something like this, something very modern on top. Yeah. So they also want that you provide something innovative or some, like it's divide you from the competitors. So you need to analyze the competitors and just suggest something new, something interesting. Yeah, so it will be totally successful if you suggest something like this. And always they want that your new job, it's going to be live and it's going to be fine with all the requirements. So they want your business will create new job places for Spanish people and support some small businesses, and also be very valuable for Spanish economy. So yeah, of course they want to show something very, very interesting. And if you show that your project is very interesting, your idea is really nice, so yeah, it can be very successful. And even if you realize, so as I mentioned before, that you don't meet all the criteria, it's also not a problem. Even practically all ideas can be innovative, but you need just to find some brilliant in your idea or in your business, and just to demonstrate the official that it's really, really nice. So, and if we're talking about the examples, which works at the moment, of course, they change very drastically from time to time. So you need to be careful which is modern now, which is popular now. So, but at the moment, definitely all the IT startups, like a platform for optimization, some website using artificial intelligence, or even for example, automation of irrigation system in agriculture. So something modern that it can be modified and automate some of the processes, and to faster some processes, it will be successful. But there's such ideas like a HoReCa, like restaurants, cafes, bars, bakeries, or some beauty salons, or like a car repair studios, some services, which is like quite common one. They don't work for startup visas. They can work for another types, but not for innovative startup. But even we have an examples when people open the bar and just prove that their bar is going to be innovative. So that just put something innovative technologies using the artificial intelligence in the bar. And they were approved. So it's always have a chance just to involve some creativity in your business plan. And if we are talking about the startup, it's also startup visa have a lot of advantages, really, especially if we compare sometimes digital nomads and startup. A lot of people ask questions about the back home law when they ask about any visas. I'm not a tax advisor, but I can cover just slightly this topic. So when you apply for startup visa and you're approved, you will have an access to back home laws. So for a flat tax rate of 24%, it means only active income from Spain. You will need to pay the tax from only active income of Spain, but all your income from the world, it's not under the taxes. Yeah, so it can be very interesting. If you have like a huge amount of money, some passive income in other countries in the world, so it can be very interesting for you, this regime. Unfortunately, most of the digital nomads don't have an access to this regime because they're contractors, they provide services, and they can have this type of tax regime. So also, when the digital nomads have quite great requirements for their income, and of course the officials want from them to pay taxes from this amount of money, startup visa holders, they don't have income requirements. So if you just start a business and you have a small amount of income from your business at the beginning, you just need to declare this small amount of money and pay the taxes from this amount of money. Even if you don't earn anything at the beginning, so you don't need to pay taxes. But from digital nomads, of course, they want to pay taxes from their income, which is quite high according to the requirements. And of course, you can relocate with your family. So you can apply just directly at the same point with your family, spouse, children, even parents, as I mentioned before as well. And it is really, really a simple process to apply for family members. About the active income, a lot of people ask that can I have an income from Spanish clients as well, yeah. And when we are talking about the digital nomads, it's very restricted in terms of working for Spanish clients or companies and etc. Because when you apply with employment contract, you even cannot work at all with Spanish companies. If you're a contractor, you can work still with Spanish companies, but you can only have 20% of income from Spanish. But if you're in a startup visa, you can find to work totally with any Spanish client and you don't have any restrictions to the percentage, 20%, 50%. You can just find to have all the clients from Spain, and it is nice. So it's about startup visa. And just before we go into mistakes, I suppose Leticia wanted to ask some questions.
Yes, so I hope, yeah, exactly. So I hope this was clear. So we wanted to, I don't want to overwhelm you guys, but yeah, it was just to understand at some point if you guys think you could have an innovative idea. So it would be great if you shared it with us. So I know that the startup visa is not as well known as the digital nomad visa. So hopefully, like Evgenia's presentation gave you a bit of a sense of different options that you could take. But I think we're going to jump right onto the common mistakes, actually. So when it comes to the application, and then after that, we have about 8 questions from you guys. So we're going to use the second half of the webinar to answer those questions one by one. And I saw just a kind of slide note, Stephen, for example, you asking about the non-lucrative visa. So today we're not going to be discussing the non-lucrative visa because the focus is more kind of the digital nomad visa. So just to say that this would be for a separate session. So it would be, if you have your questions, if they can be more kind of work related, and there would be another session for the non-lucrative visa. So that's just a disclaimer. Okay. Thank you, Evgenia. Yeah.
Welcome. About the common application mistakes. Of course, some people try to apply and they are rejected. And this is just, we want to cover just very common mistakes. So usually if they have income requirements and your income insufficient, it definitely are going to be rejected. So the income for all this type of visa, digital nomad or startup, when it is involved in the requirements, some income or savings, you need to prove that you have enough for all your family, for you or for your family members if you apply not alone. So it's very, very important point. Also, when you submit the document and they're not prepared in a proper way, maybe they're not legalized, or maybe they're to put a wrong apostille or something like this. If they are not decorative, you will also reject it, but usually not reject it immediately. Usually they will ask you the questions. Can you provide us the proper document, which is also nice from the officials in Spain. They not reject us immediately. Only if you're not fine with main requirements, like your contract are less than 3 months old, or your company you work with it is only 6 months. Yeah, so the basic requirements. So if you're not fine with all these requirements, you will be rejected. But if your documents prepare in not a proper way, and the officials still can give you a chance to provide the proper documents, and it is nice. They will just send you additional requests for this document, but you will be restricted by the time to answer for these requirements. And sometimes the documents just works against from each other. For example, you mentioned that you work for this company and you have this experience, and then you have this income, but your bank statements show another ones, or your invoices is not fine with the bank statements. It definitely they're going to cross-check all your documents, and if they find that is something suspicious in all your documents, so you will be rejected in this case. So you need to be just very, very careful, and just not only check the one document separately, you need to cross-check all the documents together. So if you cross-check, and if they're fine, if you just compare the translations in all these documents, and if they're it will be perfect, like a puzzles put together in one beautiful picture, you will definitely have success. So you just need to be very, very careful. Yeah. And just if you're not sure that you can go through all the process alone, just you can also come to us. Just maybe start it from the consultation, and just and we'll help you and just advise you, and even to help you to prepare the documents in a proper way, and just give you guides and etc. So it's most about be careful, be attentive, and have success.
Thank you so much, Evgenia. So what we're going to do now, we're going to be we have a bunch of questions, but as Evgenia mentioned, so I'm just sharing it with you guys. We are offering a free consultation. So you are more than happy. You can kind of book that free consultation. It's about a 15-minute call that you can book at any given point in the calendar. If you access through this link, and you can ask all your questions, like if you have specific questions, and we can answer that. And then before we jump also onto the question, after, so depending on, again, I'm very transparent on how I approach things. So depending on how you want to proceed, we can also support you. We have different packages. This when it comes to filling out, doing the process, this is something that you can do on your own. So, but of course, we know that when it comes to Spanish administration, it can be cumbersome. It can be very complicated. So this is where we're coming in. But the good thing is this is something that you can do on your own, and we have different packages that we're offering. Now I would be sending that to you also after the call. But for example, for the digital nomad visa, we have different type of packaging. So you have like a standard package where you can have an hour consultation. We can help you throughout the whole process of completing the documentation preparation. You have like 24 hours response time. So every time you can ask as many questions as you want. And then usually we put 24 hours response, but sometimes the team responds before that. And we basically support you throughout the process. So we have a 15% discount for that. So if you wanted to, you could do the free call and decide if that's the right option for you, or if not, which is fine. And then you have the premium process, which is very similar, which kind of follows similar structure of the standard one, but you have like priority response time. So within 30 minutes, you can expect response from us. So let's say you have questions around, okay, how can I do that? What, you can message Evgenia or, another team member, and within 30 minutes, you would be getting all your answers. And you would also get access as part of this package to all the translation and certification services, because as you may know, you need to translate all of your documentation. So we would be doing that translation and the certification for you. And then we would be working all the way with you until you receive your residence card. And then that would be the second option. And the last but not least is kind of document review. This is very much a light touch. So let's say you're very confident, I don't want to spend money on this, which is fair enough. Life is hard. And you're thinking, I just want someone to double check my document. This is also something we can do. You put your documents together, and then we offer you, we support you. We're checking the documents, and we're making sure that it's all fine before you send it. And the good thing is we have a 100% kind of a money back guarantee. So if you don't get your visa approved, we will give you back your money, because we're so confident that we can make this happen. So we can do this for the digital nomad visa, and we can also do this for the startup visa. So this is something that we startup visa. So you have those different plans. So I'll be sending them to you. And then you can also reach out in the however way it's the most convenient. So let me put that there. And now what we're going to do is we're going to be going through all your questions, because you have a few questions. I've also had loads of new proposals for new workshop. So it's noted. And like I said, the non-lucrative visa, I actually already did one, so I'll be sharing the link with you guys. And then I've seen a few kind of suggestions on family reunification. So this is something we can work on getting done. Okay, perfect. So now we are, without any further ado, Yevgenia, I'm gonna tell you the questions. I'm gonna share them with you. If there's any questions that you need to follow up individually, let me know. But let's jump right into it. So the first question was around, someone was asking, my question is whether it's possible to combine passive income with the digital nomad visa, because I don't earn enough to qualify just by income.
Okay, so unfortunately, when we are talking about digital nomad, it's not possible to combine these types of. It's just different. It's about digital nomad. It's just working income. It's the active income. You can combine sometimes some passive some savings, but when we are talking about the application of family members, if you don't have enough for family members, then you can just go this way and just use these savings. But when we are talking about the main applicant, unfortunately, you need to show that you have enough for the previous 3 months before application. You have enough average income for the requirements. So it's something like this, to be very, very careful.
Okay, perfect. I hope this answers your question. Well, there's another question which I know you briefly, it's not the topic of the workshop, but I'm going to I'm going to ask Virginia. I know Evgenia, you've already kind of talked about it, but someone is asking about, is the golden visa still an option? I think you've already touched on it.
Yeah, it's still an option, but you have still chance. Yeah, and you can then, if you will be approved for this type of visa, you can prolong it later. So the prolongation is going to work longer. Of course, they are not going to, or it's not going to be prolonged, but you need to be very, very quick with the golden visa now. Yeah, just I suppose it stopped working from March 2025.
Exactly. And a question is, can you work remotely while on a tourist visa?
Okay, you're not restricted if you're at the moment as a tourist in country. You can work remotely. It's not going to be considered that you work from country. Your responsibility started when you spend a lot of time when you're going to become the tax residents of Spain. But yeah, you can work remotely during this period. It's still like combined traveling and working.
Brilliant. So I had a question, but I think the question was related to something you said, so I'm not sure what was the context. So can you get a longer time if you apply from Spain? I'm not sure if you can get a longer time. So if the person who mentioned something around getting a longer time if you apply from Spain, if you can clarify the question, just because I can't remember what context this question was asked. So I will look at your name and call you out. So if you want to expand on this. Then another question was on the non-lucrative visa. I don't know. Another one. Evgenia, do you want to answer any non-lucrative visa questions, or should we stick to the work visa?
You can try to some
Okay.
non-lucrative
So,
application.
because we have a question, can you talk also about the non-lucrative visa and about the non-lucrative visa? Is it possible to keep working outside of Spain with a non-lucrative visa?
No, no, it's not possible. It's just some people do, but it's just like against the law, because even in some countries in the consulate you give a promise, not to everyone, that you're going to stop working at all, because the non-lucrative visa, it's non-working visa, so it only can have passive income. So it's just those who work still continue working, so just against the law. So by the law you cannot work even from abroad. So when we are talking about the digital nomad, it's people who works for different countries in the world, so they work remotely. So you need to choose another option, not non-lucrative, if you want to work from Spain, even remotely.
Perfect. And I think Sandra, she clarified the question she had. She said it sounded like you can get up to 3 years to stay in Spain if you apply from Spain, from the country, instead of 1 year. Is that correct?
Yeah, so it sounds something like this. So if you apply from inside of Spain, you can have up to 3 years, because it depends. The terms will depend on the some moments of your document. If if you're talking about the startup, it's just immediately up like 3 years, because it's not restricted by the terms of the contract or some social security document. But when we're talking about the digital nomad, sometimes the terms of the contract, if it's not like indefinite in terms or it's just for 1 year, it's going to restrict and just reduce the period the visa will be granted. But if you apply from the consulate, you can only receive 1 year visa. It's not going to be 1.5 or something like this. It's only option to receive 335 days national visa type D. Yeah, but you can come with this visa and just reapply immediately, or wait 10 months and then apply again already for the residence permit. It's up to you.
Okay, great. I think thank you, Evgenia. Okay, great. No worries, Sandra. Okay, so then we have a bit of a more personal question. So someone is looking to move to Spain from Arizona and work as an software engineer and cybersecurity. They've applied to a company with an English CV, and some of which list relocation as an option. However, I've not been able to get further into the process beyond just applying. Are there any recommendation you can provide for how to go further into the interview process? I think this is a bit maybe specific. Let me bring that back at the end. Okay, I'll reread it to make sure I also understand it.
Yeah, or maybe it just will be better to book a consultation and just we will
Mhm.
discuss this question just in like
In more detail. Yeah.
in person, yeah, and in more details. Yeah, if already in the process something, yeah. So just maybe it will be better to discuss like
Okay.
in person, yeah.
No problem. And well, other questions on pros and cons of the non-lucrative visa. We'll skip this. Someone owns their own LLC, but basically they work as a freelancer. I have one main client that I work remotely for, and they have approved me working from Spain. What they pay me alone is enough to meet the salary requirement. But someone on Reddit said that with my own LLC, I should apply as if I am my own client, if that makes sense. I've had an LLC for 14 years.
Let's see. So it's freelance. It's from the USA, yeah. We're
I
talking.
think yes, from the US. So they own their own LLC. Yeah, from the US. Own their own.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, work as a freelancer, and they have one main client that work remotely, and they've approved for them to work from Spain. What they,
So you have your own, yeah.
yeah, own
Mm-hmm.
LLC for tax purposes.
Okay, so we have some cases. It can be a little bit more complicated in these terms because the simplest question, the simplest cases, when we can show that the income you have a client, like a contract from you as a person, of you as a freelancer, and you work for the company, and you receive just the income from the company directly to your account, your personal account. If it's not, if you work like through the company, for another company, and provide services for the third company, like for another one, it will be more documents, but it's still possible. So you will need to show the contract with your own company as well, and just to show how the money come from the third company to your company, and then you pay like a compensation to yourself. So like it's going to be a little bit more difficult case, but it's still possible. So we just need to consider in more details this one.
So yeah, sorry guys, if it's about studying, I'm jumping those questions because they're not really work related, but we can do different again, unless Evgenia, you want to also
I can ask you. I
okay,
just if
I
you.
can. So someone is asking, can you get a study visa while you are in Spain already? I mean, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So just you're still able to apply for visas even through language courses, which is from the centers which are created by Cervantes University, or you can apply for some degrees, like through university courses, when you're already inside of Spain. But you need to be careful with the terms of your tourist visa or stay like a tourist if you don't need a visa. So you need to have at least 30 days before ending your tourist stay, just to apply for the student visas. So it's more like you cannot do it on the last day of your legal stay in Spain, like for digital nomad or startup. You need to have 30 days at least, but you're still able. It's going to, for the Spanish courses language one, it's going to work until May. So 6 months more because they already made a new law, the new requirements. So but for the university courses, you can apply from inside of Spain, but just be careful with the days you left.
Okay, and then a question on the non-lucrative visa. If I'm planning for a non-lucrative visa and I'm planning on if I'm applying, for a non-lucrative visa and I'm planning on relying on my pension payment and my investment, how will I show that I fulfill the financial requirement if I'm just starting to receive my pension payment? Would I show my investment balance with my pension payments?
So it depends on the consulate of the country we're going to apply, because the non-lucrative, the initial one, it's always through the consulate. Usually it's enough to show one of them. You don't need to show like a stable pension. You just can show that you have enough savings for the first year of living in Spain. So, and it's quite often it's enough. In some countries, you need to prove both, but they don't ask you to prove that you have already like for a long time. You just can show that you just started to receive pension. So to show them the bank statement that with all these payments, and also just to provide the savings. But if you only need one, just provide them the savings and it will be enough.
Brilliant. We have another question about what visa would I need to work in Spain for either an international or a Spanish company. I'm looking to secure a job in Spain and relocate from Arizona.
Okay, so as we were talking before, if you want to work for both countries, you can consider digital nomad if you can provide the remote services, but it will be very restricted in terms of how many clients, how many income you can receive in the Spanish one. Or you can just make a startup to prove that your idea is fine, innovative, or if it's still not so innovative, come to the experts and we will help you to make it innovative. And then you don't have any restrictions like how many passengers of clients from Spain or something like this. So we can work for Spain clients as well. If you're considering, for example, another types of visa, not startup or not digital nomad, it's also you can try to receive visa called autónoma or cuenta propia in Spain, but it's just for those who already been in Spain at least 1 year with their residence permit. It's not for everyone. So if you just going to come, it's just two options. It's better startup will be the great option for you, just to start working from both clients, because even in a high professional one, you're going to be hired by the company, and sometimes it just need to work full time for this company. So it's just it's very difficult to combine working for international company and for a Spanish company as well when you're hired like a professional one. I hope I can cover this question. Yeah.
Yeah, I put the link to the booking, the free booking also if people need more information. But I think we've covered a lot of ground, guys. Thank you so much for all your questions. That's why I love to keep the session small so we can cover everyone's questions. I will be sharing with everyone the recording. I've been compiling all the questions. So I'll be sending you the questions that we received so you can find the answer in the presentation. You have access to a free consultation, as we said. Any ideas on how to improve those sessions, please let me know. Any topics you would like in the future, let me know. So we're here to help. So thank you so much. Good luck with everything. I know for many of you it's Thanksgiving soon, next week. So happy Thanksgiving in advance. And thank you. Thank you, Evgenia, for your time. And thank you, everyone, for joining. I hope it was helpful.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're welcome. Thank you, everyone. And just, yeah, if you have any questions, just you have a link, book a meetings, and I will be happy to consultate, or Lisa will be happy to consultate.
And actually, let me just send you a quick, because I can see that Alan mentioned that the link doesn't work on Safari. Let me send you the direct link to, 1 second. I will send you the direct to everyone, the Calendly link for everyone. So here you go. So I just put the link again. So I think you should be, I'll wait a few seconds so you guys can click before I leave. But I will be follow up. I have your guys' email. So either way, I'll be following up with everyone with all the information, but on Monday with all the information and the link and everything. So here you go. Thank you guys. Have a good rest of the day. Goodbye.
Bye.